don't have the money to invest. So I wanted Victoria to share her story with you because she didn't either, but look what happened because she figured it out. So Victoria, are you with us?
Yes. And
Yay!
this is so funny talking about like watching the whales. And my view is like completely different because I've got a golf course in the background now. But I also don't get to choose my view yet because I'm an army wife. And so we move every 2 to 3 years and we go where the army sends us. But I want to talk to anybody on here who is skeptical about this. I want to talk to anybody who is thinking, okay, I love the sounds of this. It sounds too good to be true. I've tried all of these other work from home jobs because if this is you, that was me. All right. I was the biggest skeptic in the book. I'm super analytical. I analyzed this for 2 months before starting. I watched this girl make 40 grand in 2 months, who I didn't know from Adam, but because she had learned the skills to like of attraction marketing, that's how I found her. And I'm just like, well, I really like the sounds of this. But I spent 7 years in an MLM. Y'all tell me in the comments if you have ever done multi-level marketing, okay? Because if so, then you understand, and this is not an MLM, okay? But you understand the amount of work that goes into being successful there. And successful there for me was maybe having a 2 or 3 grand a month. That was success, but my face was glued to my phone. The reason I did that was because I have 3 little boys, y'all. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mama. I wanted to be present. I wanted to be hands-on with them and not miss all the firsts and all of those things. But what I really got doing that was I was caught up in the recruiting, the parties, the salesy posts, all those copy paste messages, all to try to make $7 on a mascara. And so I actually bounced around from different MLMs because I'm like, well, maybe it's this MLM that's the problem. So let me go to this one, right? And then I decided, okay, well, maybe it's not this thing. Maybe I'll start blogging. I did that. I did those the Clickly emails. I did that. And then I finally said, you know what? No, I need to find something where I can make 100% profit. Now, let me ask you guys this. How many of you have ever had your own business? Because I went from making 25% profit on a mascara to then 100% profit on my own online boutique, y'all. And so I went from $7 a mascara to maybe profiting $20 on a top, okay? But with that, I still didn't know how to attract customers. I still didn't know, like all of the things that goes into marketing on social media. My boutique was online, but I had no idea how to do all of that because all that I knew was what my MLM days had taught me, right? Which was friend request everybody. And so I failed with my boutique. In 2022, y'all, you need to understand, I am not somebody that comes from money. And so when Michelle says, like, I know what it's like to go from broke as a joke to massive success with this, let me tell you, okay? I grew up watching my daddy work 3 jobs. How many of you are working multiple jobs right now, or you are living paycheck to paycheck? Because if so, I fell into that same pattern, and you are not alone. And that is normalized in our society. It is normalized for people to say, if you want to make more, you need to work more. You need to overexert yourself. Whoa, hang on. Just making soup and it's boiling over. But that was the way that I was raised to think those things. And so I just kind of always hopped around from this thing to this thing to this thing, thinking, well, maybe this is the problem and this is the problem. I'm sorry. Hang on. Let me take it off the burner. I'm like gonna burn the house down. Nobody's here. And so that's what that was my past, okay? And so going into this, I hadn't made a sale in my online boutique for 6 weeks. And this was a Hail Mary. Y'all know when it rains, it pours, right? And so I needed a new transmission for my car. I needed to pay for 4 new tires. I needed to pay for 6 rental cars while my car was in the shop. We couldn't afford anything because we were living paycheck to paycheck off of my husband's army income. So you better believe when I like tiptoe over to him, like, hey, honey, I found this other online job and I think that this might be it. He's like, well, we have all these other things that we need to pay for. And I'm like, I know, and I know we can't afford it, but I know myself and I'm a go-getter and I'm always determined to make something happen. So even though, listen, even though we could not afford it, I went out and I watched a friend's kids. I went out and I cleaned a house just because I was determined to start this. It is not a decision to be broke, y'all. It is a decision to stay there. And I'm such a firm believer. I will take that to my grave, right? So when I had the funds to start this, we went from broke as a joke to now able to build this house. Okay. In my very first month, my goal going into this was to make $1,200 a month. Because then I would be, on track with what I was making with my boutique prior to when it started failing. $1,200 a month. And in my first month, I made $29,000. It is normal for me now to make 20 grand and above in a month. By my first 5 months, I hit my first 6 figures I had ever seen in my life. And now 15 months in, I think I'm almost to 450 grand. I will be at 500 grand by the end of this year. I will be the next millionaire. And I am so over the moon because I said yes to something that I was skeptical about. I took that chance that I was fearful of to try something that I thought was too good to be true. And now, like, we're living in this house that we were able to build from scratch, y'all. Like, it's not pretty now, but let me show you guys this real fast because I showed this on my live earlier. Look at this. These are the old patio chairs that we grew up with, but that was all we were ever able to afford. And last night we were able to set up my dream patio. Do you see this? And we were able to sod our yard. And this is all because I took a chance on something. Alexa, stop. So all of that to say, if you are skeptical, ask the questions. You are in the right place. Ask the questions. That's why you're here. And this blueprint can completely change your life too. That's all.
Oh, I love that so much. And I'm just so proud of you, and that even though you didn't have the money, you found a way, and you knew you were just lacking in something, and you learned that. And now you're almost $500,000. So awesome. So thank you for sharing.